take a field trip today to Garden Gate Soaps in Fresno, California. My friend Beth Hinderacker makes the most beautiful and good for you organic soaps and candles, and we get a behind the scenes peek of how it's all done. So come with me as we step into your life with Julianne Williams. So we are here. It's been a fun trip getting here to Fresno to Beth's house, and I want to have you meet Beth Hinderacker. She is the artist behind all of these products. And so we are sitting now in her area where she actually makes the soaps and the candles. So Beth, would you talk to us a little bit about your products and all of these lovely things that we have sitting in front of us?
Yes, happy to. So my company's called Garden Gate Soap because I love gardens. I start my day early in the morning with my fingers in the dirt, and I love to grow food and medicinals. So I've made my family's self-care products for over 35 years because my kids were allergenic, and I needed to because there were no other options back then. So I've learned a lot, and I just absolutely love what I do, and I love to grow the botanicals I infuse into my products, and I love to create products that nourish your skin that are really healthy for you. So all of my products are food grade. They're so pure, they're food grade. I wouldn't eat the soap.
Okay.
But
it's like eating paste, right?
But they're food grade, which means they're so pure, they nourish your skin, which is what I really love. I love creating a product that has a purpose behind it that's really good for the body.
So we're gonna go into the garden right now,
Yes.
and you're gonna show us how we get these lovely things to infuse into the soaps and the oils and candles or whatever you do with them, which you're going to explain. But we get to see the behind the scenes of what happens before we see it in the jar or on the soap.
Yes.
All right, well, let's go.
Okay.
So what I do is I usually come out very, very early in the morning, probably 6 or 6:30, because you want everything to be picked at the peak of ripeness in the very early morning. But we didn't want to come that early in the morning, I'm sure, so we're picking midday. This is my draping butter rosemary, which I really love to use not only culinarily for like making bread oil, but specifically in my soaping because it's very gentle. Standard rosemary is very acidic and really good for really oily acne-prone skin, but most people want something that works for everything. So I love to use this. If you smell it, it actually smells like light rosemary with melted butter. It's a beautiful combination and it makes a beautiful soap. So I'll cut not the portions that are woody, the portions that have like a light green stem, and literally it's like giving it a haircut. I come out here and do this probably a good once a month because it grows very quickly. And then once I have a really large bowl, I will take it inside and I will soak it in a combination of vinegar, baking soda, and distilled water to clean it because we're using it for cosmetic purposes. And then I will dry it in my commercial dehydrator at under 119 degrees, which leaves it a live enzymatic food, which is really important because when you then take the dried rosemary and soak it in the oil and use it in a soaping application, you still have all the really great benefits from the oils in that plant. And that's why I pick it the way I do and use it the way I do.
Okay, well, we're back, and I really loved seeing how simple it was to harvest some of those herbs for us. And again, let's talk a little bit about how these get into the jar and what they are. First of all, what are they? And it's so, everything smells so wonderful in here.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we nourish ourselves and our spirit, our soul, and our body with our eyes, with our taste buds, with our nose. It's all part of the experience. And so, I don't know about you, but I love a hot bath.
Yes.
So I take a really hot bath even in the summer, very early in the morning before I start my day, and that's how I just relax into my day. So I love to soak in hot water with good product. And so the sensory is a part of that. The look and the beauty of the product is a part of that. So I love to use carrier oils. That's what you call the oil you use in a soap that carries the benefits of the herbs that you're bringing to the skin. And so everything in my garden serves a purpose. It's a food to consume, or it's a tincture or something for medicinals, or it's for my soaping. Everything has a purpose. So I use rosemary, oranges, lemon, avocado, spearmint, chamomile, calendula, Roses, I love my roses. Love my roses. And I actually grow David Austin heirloom roses for that because they're really got great oils for the skin. Sage, rosemary, thyme, all of it. And so everything's cyclical. Whatever season I'm in is what I'm gathering, drying, preserving, saving, so that I can then infuse it into the oils. Whatever carrier oil I've decided is going to be in my line. And I have to plan that out a whole season in advance.
Wow.
So because my oils, I do what's called cold processing. So I infuse my dried herbals into my oils for 3 to 5 months in a dark cabinet in a pure clean glass jar to get the best benefit from the herbs before I use them.
Okay. So can we go take a look at how you do that
Yes.
before we start talking
Yes.
about the rest of the process?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, let's
do
go.
that.
Okay.
So now we've picked, we've brought it inside, we've soaked it, we've cooled it, we've dried it. I've actually put this through my dehydrator and it turns into this lovely dried product. Now we want it dried because when you put a dried product into pure oils, you do not want any water in it, which can create mold. So then it gets put into whatever carrier oil will go in the soap. This is a pure olive oil, and this sits in a dark apothecary cabinet in my apothecary for 5 months and just steeps all of the beautiful essential oils into that olive oil. And then I will triple strain it through cheesecloth and muslin to end up with the finished oil, which I then use in, these are two of my favorite products to use it in. This is a clary sage rosemary soap, and this is a straight up butter rosemary soap that's really emollient, which means it tracks the moisture from the air to your skin when you use it. So that is the whole process.
All right, so wasn't that interesting how it goes from the fresh plant to dried to infused and then the smells? And so then here we are now. So what's next?
Well, after that is the design process, which is where the artistic part of me is to take over, and I love that. I teach immune health as well, and so I really don't want people eating white sugar, white flour, and such. But who doesn't love decorating, right? So I can't very well make like frosted cakes and cake pops because that goes against what I teach.
That is true.
But I can take those skills and I can make soap look fun. So I have a lot of people tell me, oh, it's so pretty, I want to just put it on the counter.
Right.
I'm like, but you know where you can get more, right? You can always get them back. And my quote is, life is short, use the pretty soap.
It's true, and I will tell you, a few weeks ago when I bought mine, and your skin just feels so good after you use them. I really did want to use them because they were so beautiful, and my kids either. But you know what? I'm here to get more today, and really, it is amazing the difference that you feel after using these in the shower.
Well, there's a reason to that, and so part of that is understanding the chemistry with soaping. So the word for soaping is saponification. Literally, the word soap comes from that word, and you cannot make soap without lye.
Okay.
You cannot. You have to have it. But if you've done your chemistry properly, there's no lye left when that process is done. So you mix everything together, kind of like a batter, like you're mixing a cake batter, right?
Okay.
Now I'm all gowned up, gloved up, goggled on. Everything's protected. Everything's hospital clean and put away so nobody gets splashed, right? But once that's done and poured into the mold, I work in a loaf mold and then cut them. It goes through a 48-hour change where the lye and the water mix with all the oils and butters, and they do a little dance. And then the lye makes the oil molecules bond together to create the bar of soap. And when that's all done, then there's no more lye left, and you have a beautiful bar of soap. And then it sits on a shelf for 6 to 8 weeks to cure, which just means the water's evaporating out and making a hard bar. And then you have a beautiful bar of soap left. But in that process, I do what's called super fatting.
Okay.
Super fatting means that I know the chemistry to make the bar of soap is exact. I will decide, depending on the season, what time of year it is, whether it's hot dry out or cold biting dry, I will super fat a certain percentage over. So there's extra molecules of fats and butters and oils left in that bar that are floating free. So when you use it, they're nourishing your skin and attracting the moisture from the air to your skin when you're done using them. So it's called emollient.
And that's what emollient is.
So that's what
we hear about that, like when you hear about like all the creams for our faces, you hear about emollient creams. That's what it is.
And so when you use a standard bar of soap from a big box store and your skin feels tight or dry or itchy when you're done, there's zero super fatting involved. And then there's surfactants or detergents that have been added, like what you'd wash your car with, to make it foam. Because the commercial public thinks of foam as cleaning you, which isn't true.
But But your
So-
soaps do have bubbles.
They do have bubbles, and those are naturally caused by the oils and butters I use
Okay.
working together to create a creamy, dense lather, rather than just big, poofy, foamy bubbles that disappear and leave you feeling dry.
Okay.
Completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I took home 4 or 5 different ones last time,
Mhm.
plus some samples, and everyone is addicted to them because it's true after you wash your hands. But I was surprised because we had talked about the fact that you don't use things to make the foam,
Mhm.
that there was so much like bubbles.
Yeah. A good, well chemistry bar of soap is just such a beautiful thing. And the older your bar, the better it is. Like I have found bars that are 1, 2, 3 years old
Mm-hmm.
that were in the back of a cabinet, forgotten about, and they don't look all that great because now they've been drying out for 3 years, but they've produced a phenomenal lather.
Oh wow.
So never throw out an old bar of good soap.
Okay.
Really well-made soap.
Okay.
You can always use it.
That's
There's never a throwaway unless it's a big box chemical endocrine disrupting filled soap. Then
Right.
don't even use that on your car. Just get rid of it.
So before we do look at some of these things in detail, maybe you could talk with us about the health benefits of using soaps. I know that we've talked about it in the past, that since I've switched to using natural products, I have less pain and other things just in terms of allergies. What are the benefits? You know, I know you did this because of your kids, but I know that now you do this for others, and that's why you keep doing it, because your children are grown, because there are so many health benefits.
Yes, and so I can't make a medical claim with conditions about the bar of soap.
Of course not.
But what I can tell you is the lack of the chemicals, the fake colorants, the fake foaming agents, the endocrine disruptors that allow them to preserve and create thousands of bars each hour in a factory producing situation. Everything you use ends up in your kidneys and your liver within 30 to 90 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
Consumable or otherwise. And so it all started for me with bath bombs, because my kids loved to sit in a bathtub, my little girls. Well, little girls, that's really not good. Bubble baths and bath bombs from anything other than a reputable organic source is actually an open pathway straight up into the body.
Okay.
And you can mess with their hormones, their endocrines, you can mess with their reproductive health, everything. And so that's where I began my research all those years ago, because I wanted to provide something my little girls could have fun with, like every other little girl got to do.
Yes.
But I could make sure they were healthy, because my kids all got skin rashes. Whenever they sat in anything like that, they'd blow up in hives.
Right.
And so for me, it started with a need, and then I became passionate about making my home green. Like my home was green and clean before there were any companies that were clean and green, because I learned one product at a time and then made them. And it just became second nature. And then it spilled over into then taking that and having organic be beautiful, which is where we've landed now, because most people think organic is like ugly. I'm like, oh no, organic can be every bit as beautiful, every bit, sometimes even more beautiful.
Oh, the one for eczema. What is it called?
Well, I can't say it's for eczema.
Okay, the one that I purchased
Right.
for my son who gets eczema.
Right, black gold.
Black gold. So
Yes.
they thought that was the gold, because it is beautiful.
That
and,
is the star.
And yeah, my daughter was like, look at how
Now the
exquisite
gold
that
is just for marketing purposes. That is a
Uh-huh.
mineral mica that's
Okay.
painted on the top, and it rinses off after the first use.
Yes.
But you know, we shop with our eyes.
We
And so
do.
people love gold. And
Yes.
so what's in this is tea tree oil and eucalyptus and peppermint and lavender, things that are really, really good when you have really oily skin.
Okay.
And then it's got a lot of nourishing butters: shea butter, cacao butter, mango butter, olive oil, and so it's just really a phenomenal clean for the face. This one's, I wish you guys had smell-o-vision.
I know, right?
It's like, oh, I'll catch my husband and my son-in-law over here smelling the soaps. They literally are like, ooh, smell that one. And that's how they shop, with their nose.
Yes.
Right? Because they know that whatever they're going to use is going to feel good on their skin.
Right.
So they shop with their nose. They're like, what do I want to smell in the shower while I'm
Exactly.
showering?
I mean, exactly.
Which is fun.
It is fun. All right, so you have some really pretty soaps sitting here that, like you said, also smell really good. I do wish you could smell them because they are exquisite. But tell us about all of this stuff on the table, because it was so interesting.
Well, I thought it would be fun to show you, because you got to see me harvest. So you saw
Yes.
the raw herbals, and then they
Yes.
move their way into the oils. And so I thought, well, I'll put out the bottles that represent that path to progress. So
Perfect.
for instance, my rose season's done, right? But this is my David Austin vintage red roses. I know, they're beautiful. And so they come ripe in the spring, and I'm literally up at 6 in the morning, every morning with my harvest bowl, and I pick every bloom that's just perfectly open, wash and dry it, take every petal off, dry it, and then store it. So this is one full season of harvest.
Wow.
But this will yield one full season of soaping.
Okay.
So it goes from that into me tincturing it. Well, tinctures is for medicinal. Me diffusing, cold process. See how beautiful ruby red that is?
Yes.
That means when I strain the petals out, they're translucent. There's nothing left
So
in them.
all of the
All the
color
goodness.
and everything goes into
Yep.
that.
All the goodness goes into this. And then this ends up, this is my dewy rose bar.
Oh, this is the one I love.
Yeah, and it literally smells like a fresh rose right from the garden. And so I'll use it in this bar. And then your other favorite was my champagne rose bar.
Yes.
I'll use it in this.
That was everyone's
I use
favorite.
it to color and scent the pink flecks, right? And mold the hand molded rose on top. I love the smell of that one. That's the champagne that you love,
It is.
right?
I'm not leaving without one.
And then this is my gilded beauty.
Oh, and I love that one too.
And this one smells like Earl Grey tea and fresh roses. And this is the soap that started my business.
Oh.
Yeah, my grandmother, my family's originally from England. And
Okay.
she went to visit England and came home with these little tiny roses, little itty bitty travel roses. And she put them in a little china dish in her guest bathroom.
Mhm.
And every time I visited, I'd run in to hold them and smell them. And I was never allowed to wash my hands with them because she knew they came from England.
Right.
And if I used them then, they wouldn't be there anymore.
That's right.
25 years later, they were still there.
Ah!
They were covered in gray dust.
And by the way,
That's
I
my
can
grandmother.
totally identify with that.
They were-
That's the stuff I do too.
They were covered in gray dust. They'd never been used, and they had no scent left. And I was like, that's just sad.
Yeah.
So when I found this mold, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's grandma's rose, but now instead of the size of a marble, it's like it fills your hand.
Yes.
And so this was the first designer soap that I created, and I just gilded the edges because it's just fun.
Because it's pretty.
Right, right. So, you know, that's what started me thinking I need to offer these to other people because I gift them and I give them all the time. People are like, can I buy from you? I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. And then so it became a business 3 years ago.
I love it.
And here we go.
Someone doesn't know that I'm seeing them tonight and their birthday present is going to be some of these soaps.
Nice. Well, and you know, really interestingly, I really believe in giving back,
Mhm.
especially into women and children around the world.
Right.
And so a portion of every bar that's sold gets split between two charities that I support. I support the Pregnancy Care Center here locally,
Mhm.
which offers free pre-pregnancy care to anyone, no questions asked, all the way through the pregnancy. And then the other is an organization called She Is Safe. And She Is Safe rescues women and children from sex trafficking, pulls them out, brings them to a safe house, helps them with therapy, teaches them life skills, and teaches them a job so that then they have their nuclear family protected and safe. And so I buy all my butters and oils from South Africa, from villages that produce the shea butter and mango butter that also rescue women and children and teach them a viable skill. And actually it rescues whole villages at a time because now they have a viable industry
Mhm.
and they're not susceptible to being taken and trafficked. So I wanted to not only give a beautiful organic product, but use what I invest into it to then invest back into the women and children of the world.
It makes me feel very emotional. Well, if you think about it, you know, just how all of this is used for so much good.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, we need to do that. I have less time left in life than I've already lived, and I want to have an impact. And women and children it's a big thing. So we need to do what we can. So this is my small way of doing that.
Well, I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
So what else do we have?
Oh, this is really fun. This is my lavender sage.
Okay, how
Again,
do you
smell
make
it.
little dots?
It's actually a mold that I've built.
Oh, okay.
And so each dot, as you use the soap, those dots don't disappear.
Okay.
So if you think of a loaf mold that's long and narrow and deep, I have a mold that I've created that's long tubes
Okay.
where I block one end. I literally fill a large canister with rice and I stick those tubes upright in the rice to hold them still. And I pour the purple and the green soap batter until I fill those straws up that I've created that are the exact length of the loaf. And so 2 days before I make that bar, I make all the different colored straws and then I slip them out of the straws. And then when I create it and I fill it with the white, then I just lay the green and white down. And then when it's finished and out, I frost the top and sprinkle my lavender from the garden on top. So it's just whimsical and fun. So those are there through the last use on the soap.
And so they don't melt though when you put the rest of the stuff on top?
No, that's part of the saponification process. Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is, it is. That's so cool.
And then these are very popular. These are my bath melts.
Oh.
A bath melt's different than a bath bomb.
Okay, tell me the difference.
So bath bombs are fun, fizzy, sit in it, have a bath. A bath melt is when you want extra nourishment for your skin. So this is like, I won't mail these to really hot states during the summer because they could melt in the mail.
Okay.
Right, I really control that. And they'll either disappear from my site for a while or appear on my site for a while because I keep track of the weather because I ship all over the US.
Right.
And so these are really densely filled with cacao butter, mango butter, and shea butter. And then they're directly infused with the lavender from my garden, as well as lavender essential oils. So I have a couple of gals who are elderly who need to do a sitz bath for the back of their legs. They have some rashy things they deal with, and they're so like pants chafe them or skirts chafe them, and they need to sit in something emollient, but they don't want to just rub oil on the back of their legs.
Right.
And so they love to put one of these in a bathtub and just sit in it. You don't need to rinse it off. You do need to rinse your tub out when you're done because you have little bits of lavender, and it can make your tub slippery. Okay. But once you get out and towel dry, you have all those beautiful butters and oils nourishing your skin. So I sell these in a box of 8. You can cut them in half or you can use them whole, but they are one of my favorite products.
Oh yeah.
And then you have one of my other favorite products here. This is my avocado spearmint. And so that actually has raw organic avocado puree in it. And then that's wild mint from my garden.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Can I smell it?
Yeah. So not only do I use it in soaping, but I make homemade, I know.
This is like...
yeah, I make herbal tea all winter. Yeah. And so most people think, oh, I'm gonna go out and just cut my garden and throw the stuff away. I go out like I'm giving it a haircut for a purpose.
Yeah, and so then you put this in...
I'll put that in oils.
In oils, and then, but with dry like this, you do it, you said in a dehydrator.
Yes, I have a commercial dehydrator. You can probably hear a low hum in the background.
Yes.
That is my commercial dehydrator that pretty much goes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because I constantly am drying and working and my shelves and they're always filled. And so I store everything in glass, and I store it whole leaf instead of ground. Okay. So then when I go to diffuse those, that one I'll diffuse into like sweet almond oil. Okay. Because olive oil can be a little heavy with mint. So I'll use like sweet almond or jojoba oil with that. And then that oil gets used in the soap along with pure peppermint or spearmint essential oil as well. Yeah, so I love them. And then my lemon poppy seed, the little polka dot bar.
It looks like a muffin. Look at this, everyone. It looks like a little muffin.
That was my kids' favorite muffin from the bakery when they were growing up. They just loved lemon poppy seed muffins. And so when I was making my lemon poppy seed bar, I thought, well, I want an exfoliant in it. Poppy seeds are a very gentle exfoliant. And then I thought, well, I'm gonna like frost the top so it looks like muffins. It's become one of my most popular bars. And then I have ground up microfine lemon peel powder from my lemon tree in it, as well as a really light exfoliant. So it's just fun.
I don't even know how you think of these wonderful things.
my brain just doesn't turn off. That's the problem.
Yes. And then is this lemon peel right here?
Yep, that's lemon peel.
I don't know.
And so I use a microplaner to take the peel off the outside after I've washed it, so none of the white part is attached, none of the pith, because the portion of the lemon on the outside is where all of those vital oils are that are so good for you. Again, I can use that either in tea or in soaping.
Okay, and
that's the powder.
This is the powder.
Yeah, that's just a desiccant packet keeping it dry. This is probably 100 lemons worth of powder.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because once I grind it, then I pass it through a micro sieve so that you're not going to wash your face or body and get a big scratchy piece. It's almost as fine as baby powder when it's done.
And do you use just like a food processor for that?
Yeah, I have a Vitamix.
I mean, not just.
Yeah, and I use the dry blade, which is for like for blending grains. And I'll probably blend it 3 or 4 times and pass it through the sieve 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
Because nobody wants to use soap and then get scratched.
That's true.
They want to feel yummy. Yeah.
That's true.
And this one is one of my all-time favorites. This is my chamomile. Smell that. It's very, very light.
It is.
Yeah. So you see the fresh chamomile flowers here. Okay. And the dry here. And then the oil is diffusing. And then that's the
cute
little
dry
one on top.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of go close to the camera so you guys can see. Look at the cute little flower on top.
So my daughter has a 20-acre ranch here, and that she bought last year, and to our delight and surprise, this year 15 acres of it had wild chamomile pop up. 15 acres of wild. I was like, whoa, I'm so happy. So I would show up with my 5-gallon buckets and fill them and bring them home and clip the buds off each one and rinse them and dry them and put them through the dehydrator and then save them. So this 64-ounce jar is probably 10 5-gallon buckets worth of blooms that have been dried.
And you cut every one of those
Every
off
one
with
of them.
scissors.
Yeah, and again for tea, but especially for soaping. And so this soap is one of my most pure bars. It's filled with beautiful, it's almost all olive oil and the chamomile. And there's no scent added other than the chamomile in the oil.
Okay.
And it's like, you could use this on a baby's face. It's that pure. And it's one of my gentlest, most pure soaps and very, very popular. This one actually has to saponify or sit for 12 weeks before I sell it.
Oh, wow.
Because there's so much olive oil in it, it takes a lot longer for the water to evaporate
That's what I
out.
was going to ask you. So, I mean, it's so hard to think about olive oil becoming something solid because it's different, like honey, when it gets cold, it kind of gets solid,
Right.
or, you know, a few things like that, or Crisco. But I didn't know that olive oil would do that.
Yes, well, when you combine it with the other oils and butters I use that help it harden, and then the lye finishes that process, it becomes this beautiful, beautiful soap. You hear the term Castile soap or Bastille soap. People say, I buy my soap from France and it's Bastille. Well, that just means there's a lot of olive oil in it.
Oh,
Right? And that's the very first soap I ever made is this one, which is my baby Bastille is what I call it. And this is primarily olive oil, tiny bit of coconut oil, and pureed carrot, which is really good for the skin. And this is the one I came up with first because of my children's skin.
Okay.
And so I have this one, and I actually make it as a little tiny bunny as well, my butter bunny.
That's so cute.
Very popular with babies and young children. And then this one, which is, these two are the most gentle soaps you can use. I have never had anyone who cannot use either of these. And there's no extra fragrance oil added, no extra essential oils. It's literally just the oils that have saponified. So it's really, really gentle.
They smell so clean.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So yeah. And then my candles, I don't add my oils into.
Okay.
But all of my waxes are my own blend of organic soy, apricot, and coconut wax, so that they're smoke-free. All of my wicks are lead-free, zinc-free, organic cotton that's been probably 500 fibers braided together.
Wow.
So they last a long time with a nice burn and a scent throw that doesn't overpower you. All of the scents that I use in both my candles and my soaps are phthalate-free. And if it's not essential oil, it's phthalate-free, organic.
What's phthalate?
Phthalates are one of the endocrine disruptors that are used in a lot of commercial products to make things last longer, burn hotter, foam more, and they're just really, really bad for you.
Okay.
They're not good for you. They shouldn't be in your home. You don't want to breathe them in the air from a candle. You don't want to use them on your skin. So, and all that's left when you've burned my candles is just the wick at the bottom of the bowl.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, so you end up with a beautiful bowl you can refill or use.
Isn't that nice?
And you can just throw the wick away.
Well, how fun is that?
Yeah, and my candles burn a long, long time.
And we will take some shots so that you can see the candles because they are fabulous. There is one that I am eyeing that is has seashells and whatnot.
Yeah. So yeah. So as again, purity. Yeah.
Now this is something that you gave me that I am in love with.
That's my calendula salve.
Yes.
Yes. So again, it's the oil.
And it's this one.
So I grow my calendula flowers every, February, first week of February, I plant over 100 calendula plants. I sprinkle them everywhere I can put them, front and backyard. And then when they start to ripen, I pick every bloom every morning and dry them. And then I diffuse them into my olive oil, because calendula and olive oil are really great. They're anti-inflammatory, they're soothing. And I make this salve every summer, and I gift it with all my orders.
Ooh.
And it's great on your lips. It's great on a bug bite, a scratch. It's very soothing.
I've been using it for all of that.
Good.
Yes.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's going to be gone in no time.
Yeah, and I combine that with shea butter and the lavender oil I've tinctured from the garden, and some essential oil, some lavender essential oil. It's just very nourishing. I would just say don't carry it in your purse on a hot day.
Yeah,
because it'll get kind of liquidy. So I tell people, leave the calendula salve at home and use it when you get home.
I was wondering about
I don't put hardeners in them.
Okay.
I use a tiny bit of beeswax, but it's again natural, organic. You know, it's really it's cosmetic grade beeswax. But I don't put a ton of it in.
Okay.
because I don't like the feeling of a dry beeswax on my lips.
Right. No, it just
I want
feels...
just enough to hold it together.
Uh-huh.
So that your skin warms it and melts it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the purpose from it, but you're not overwhelmed with a dry, kind of cracked feeling when you're done.
Yeah. Oh, it feels silky.
Thank you.
It's like putting melted butter.
Yes, I just made a whole jar of it as a gift for my daughter's really good friend has a little 1-year-old, and they just moved into their very first home, filled with fruit trees, but a lot of mosquitoes.
Oh.
So her little one played outside and just got covered with mosquito bites, and she called me, and Mama Beth is my nickname for all my kids' friends. She's like, Mama Beth, what do I do that's natural? I'm like, stop on by, and I just gave her a big glass jar, and I'm like, just use this all over your little one, and it'll help with the itch, and it'll help her feel better, and it'll nourish her skin. And then because there's lavender in it, if you put a little bit on her wrists and ankles before she goes outside, the mosquitoes will stay away.
Well, I've been using it to death. So
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it is my gift. As long as I have it fresh and made on hand, all spring and summer, I throw it in as a gift with every order.
Well, it is a really, really valuable gift. I can tell you from experience.
Thank you.
So how can someone get some of these lovely soaps and candles? Because I know now that I made my first purchase, now that I'm just addicted to it.
Thank you. Well, I have a website. I don't have a brick and mortar store. My studio, as you see, is in my home, and I have an e-commerce site. It's literally gardengatesoap.com.
Okay.
And if you log on there, my phone number's there if you have any questions. You can ask me, questions through email. You can sign up for my email list where I send out emails on my sales and my specials. I send them probably once a quarter, inundate people. And for anybody who's local, I hold open houses where I'll open my home and I'll set my whole home up like a store, and people can come touch, sniff, try, and enjoy. But outside of that, I mail all over the U.S.
That's wonderful.
And I will custom soap if people want to custom order. I will. It's a 10 bar minimum.
Okay.
Because the loaf mold holds 10.
Okay.
And then I will give a discount if they want to order. I have people who order an entire loaf of one particular soap their whole family loves. So I will do that as well through private conversation.
Now, didn't you also say you were doing like a sip and shop?
Yes, I do online presentations. It's super fun. So you just let me know, hey, I want to do a little online event called Sip and Shop, which really is grab your favorite beverage and curl up on your couch and log on to Zoom for 15 minutes with me.
Oh, that's fast.
You and your friends. And I take about 15 minutes and I gel down everything we just talked about with a few slides, and then I answer any questions. And then they usually are given a coupon for a discount when they shop.
Nice.
And then the hostess, the total from all of that, kind of like an in-home party.
Yeah.
The hostess is given a portion of all those proceeds in free product.
Well, that is
Which is really
super fun. So anybody could do that.
Anybody can do it. Yep.
You just have to use your imagination for the smells.
Yep, absolutely. And once they order, they're like, okay, I don't have a problem wanting to smell before I buy because I'll just buy anything.
Exactly.
I get that
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
and I have a lot of men. I have a lot of men that shop with me. A lot of men who love using something that smells good and feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
In fact,
you have your man puck, right?
I do. Let me grab that.
Yeah, let's see.
So my husband really hates shaving. Now that he's 65, it pulls his skin and he's not comfortable. And he didn't like the shave cream because it's filled with endocrine disruptors. And he's like, what can I do? So I took this bar and I just made it look like a hockey puck. And I called it the man puck, right?
I love it.
So he literally gets it wet, rubs it all over his face, and shaves, and he's done. And then he takes the man puck in the shower and uses it to shower with. So the butter bunny, the man puck, and the Bastille bar are all the same recipe. They're just made in different shapes to appeal to children, women, or men.
I love it.
And so I now make my rice milk as a man puck as well, because my rice milk bar is equally popular with men now as women. And men don't want to look at the frosted top; they just want a simple puck.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of times, if a wife is shopping for her husband, a very popular Father's Day special is the man puck for the shaving, and then the black gold for hand and body. So, I have men who regularly call me and say, okay, I need to fill up my order again. I need to think ahead and get enough soap to last the next 6 months, because they're not going to think, oh, I'm done with one bar, I need to go buy one more.
Right.
So I have as many men who shop with me as women. And they love coming and having me make gift boxes for their wives.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
Which
so
is
for
fun.
any men that watch, there's a hot tip.
I have a gift box section on my website, but I also, through private messenger, can create something as well, which is super fun. That is super cool.
Thank you. Well, thank you for showing us everything that you do. Like I said, since I started buying your soaps, I love them so much, and I wanted to share them with everybody so that they could see what's available. And if they like natural products like I do, this is just a great alternative to other things.
Thank you very much for having me.
So again, I appreciate everyone joining me today on Step Into Your Life with Julianne Williams. Join me next time and we will journey together.